All right, guys, I'm going to do a quick video today about 4th gen 6.7 Cummins turbochargers. We get asked an awful lot about the interchangeability between your pickup truck, your standard pickup truck, 2500, 3500, and cabin chassis engines. The cabin chassis setups are oftentimes quite different than your pickup truck. Even though at first glance you'd be like, oh, it's a VGT 4th gen HE300 VG in there or whatever. It looks similar. And then guys like myself will get phone calls and we may send them what they tell you they need, but it's wrong. And I want to show you guys what to look for before you decide that your turbocharger is interchangeable on your cabin chassis vehicle with a standard pickup truck turbo. The cabin chassis stuff in the Dodge, the government had more control of that, so you see lower horsepower, smaller turbochargers, and there are just some differences with these things that I want to be able to show you guys. I'm going to stitch these two videos together, so hold on. All right, so some of the first differences that you're going to see with these turbochargers is that the pickup truck style turbo, the compressor cover has a 90-degree slip fit on it. All right, the cabin chassis turbocharger has a straight outlet that takes a V-band. This is going to be, it's a big time tell if you're a cabin chassis or a pickup truck style. There still are differences between these, and you can have this on that and that be the same as this. So these are just confusing. All right. So the first thing that I want you guys to see on the cabin chassis is the actuator. On these actuators, they look the same, they test the same, but you are going to have a coolant passage that's in the bottom of the actuator. All right. On a pickup truck style, turn this the same way. On a pickup truck style, you can see that there is provisions for that to be machined in, but a pickup truck does not have that coolant passage. Okay. Another thing is the foot is completely different. So these won't even bolt onto the same manifold. So we're at, what is that, 3 3/4 center line versus on the cabin chassis, we are 4 1/4. So the exhaust manifolds are different. This turbo will not bolt to this manifold, okay? This is the top of the turbocharger. You can see we have 3 passages, speed sensor, coolant, oil in. On this one, we have a plug. So we have a speed sensor and oil in. We don't utilize that coolant passage. If we flip the turbocharger over, you'll see on the back side here that both of these are plugged off on the pickup truck. On the cabin chassis, you've got 1 plug and 1 feed, all right? You'll typically have a heat shield on the cabin chassis where you won't on the pickup truck. The turbine wheel or the rotor assembly is different. The cabin chassis is much smaller. This is about a 53 millimeter, where the pickup truck is going to be a 60 mil. Same with the exhaust. You're going to be a 60 mil over here and about a 58 mil. I've got one I could measure, but it's a little bit smaller on the turbine wheel as well. So when you have a cabin chassis turbo or a cabin chassis, and you're needing a new turbocharger, these are way more expensive than these are. This is about a $4,200 turbo OEM, where this one OEM is about $3,000. People want to put this turbo on because it's cheaper, and it's a 300 VG. All right, they're like, it's gonna fit, it'll be great, I'll swap housings or whatever. You can't. It is different stuff, guys. So that's just a little bit of what to expect, what to look for when you're getting into that little bit of a predicament, wanting to play with your cabin chassis, turn the thing up. Oh, that's something else to think about. If you want to upgrade your cabin chassis turbo, understand that this is like a 53-57 factory millimeter. This is a 60-60. So the stock 4th gen pickup truck turbo for a 2500 is an upgrade for your cabin chassis. So if you're like, Greg, I want one of your 63-64s to put on my cabin chassis, realize that that is a pretty real upgrade for that truck. You've got smaller injectors and a smaller tune. Everything is smaller. You're almost certainly going to need a tune revision to go to the first size up that would be in your pickup truck, 60-60 to 63-64. That's going to be about 2 sizes up. That 63-64 is 2 sizes up from the factory here. So just some stuff to think about when you're messing around with the cab and chassis and your regular pickup trucks. You've got turbochargers laying around and trying to get back on the road. Pay attention to what you got so you don't get yourself in a pickle and order expensive parts that do not bolt up.